introduction. My name is Scott Hassler. I'm the sign industry market manager for Eastern Metal Supply, and we're always happy to support the Mid-South Sign Association with the various events and things that Mid-South offers to all of our members. And so we're happy to be here today. One of the things that we had discussed about maybe presenting as part of our brown bag opportunity was some of our new safety and compliance procedures that we have at Eastern, which has made us feel more profitable and more safe, obviously, in our operations. And so with me today, I have John Bergamo, who is our Director of Safety and Compliance for Eastern Metal Supply. We're going to start off the webinar with a short 4-minute video that we've produced recently that kind of highlights some of our company attributes, and then John's going to go into some of the specifics as it relates to some of our safety procedures. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we'll kick off this video. Can everybody see the video?
Yes, I can see it. Scott.
In 1982, 3 visionaries, Susie Walsh, Greg Weeks, and Glenn McGaldy, came together to lay the foundation of what would become a pioneering force in the aluminum industry. With just 5 employees and boundless determination, Eastern Metal Supply embarked on a journey that would redefine the standards of excellence in the aluminum sector. What started as a modest venture in Florida has now flourished into a nationwide powerhouse. Through our organic growth, greenfields, and acquisitions, EMS is now the nation's largest value-add distributor of aluminum sheet, standard, and custom aluminum extrusions. We operate 19 facilities located across the Southeast, South Central, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and New England. EMS maintains nearly 2 million square feet of warehouse and manufacturing space. We serve a large number of end markets, such as shutter, sign, patio, trailer, marine, fence, and many more.
I'm William Cooper, Vice President of Operations for EMS. Eastern Metal Supply's growth isn't just about numbers. It's about the people. From 5 employees to almost 1,000, each person contributes to our success story.
Safety is our #1 goal. We want to make sure the same way that you come to work, that's the same way you want to leave and go home. And I enjoy working for EMS. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And that's one thing, we are all as a team and we as a family.
I've been working at Eastern Metal Supply for 3 years. I went from material handler to shipping coordinator to shipping supervisor. So with hard work, dedication, and commitment, you can achieve whatever you want at Eastern Metal Supply. Today, EMS services not only the United States, but also extends its reach into Canada, Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. Our commitment to timely deliveries is unwavering. Established routes ensure our customers receive frequent deliveries via our dedicated fleet of company trucks manned by skilled company drivers.
The just-in-time portion of our business really helps facilitate the growth of smaller companies, people that don't have a tremendous amount of warehouse space, people that need that just-in-time next-day delivery so that they're not tying up all their floor space with material, also taking up a tremendous amount of cash flow that isn't absolutely necessary. That's where Eastern Metal, with the just-in-time portion of our business, really helps.
What really sets Eastern Metal Supply apart is not just our infrastructure, it's our commitment to excellence.
Our goals are threefold: to serve our customers profitably by providing high-quality aluminum products, to foster a healthy work environment for our dedicated team members, and to make a positive contribution to the communities we call home. At Eastern Metal Supply, it's not just about aluminum, it's about a legacy of excellence, growth, and community. Our vision is to be the preferred and most trusted resource for high-quality aluminum product solutions. We are committed to safety first, team development, a focus on continued excellence, and a passion for unwavering customer relationships and vendor partnerships. We have a very formal strategic planning process and communications cadence. We use technology to enhance our business wherever possible. We have focused our efforts on strategic pricing and procurement, logistics, supply chain, transportation, and our digitized marketing department. kind of grew up in this business and I think we've always been a customer of Eastern Metal. We've worked with a few other suppliers over time, and Eastern's just been one of those companies that maintain the relationships and earned our business all the way through. They're always there to help us with the pricing and questions and availability, and really feel like they go above and beyond putting our company in the forefront with the best ability to succeed.
While we do sell aluminum, that's simply just the vessel that we sell. What we're really selling is the value of Eastern Metal Supply.
EMS, delivering more, one high quality aluminum product solution at a time.
In 1980,
So that's just a little introduction about the company and where we've come and where we're going. And so now I want to turn it over to John Bergamo, and he's going to go over some of the specific policies that we have related to safety.
Well, thanks a lot, Scott. Everybody you can hear me, Scott? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, thank you for having me and Eastern Metal. I am very passionate about safety, and people ask me what I do day in, day out when I'm out in the field meeting new people, and I tell them I save lives. And that's what we do is we make sure we keep people safe every day and build a safety culture. I've spent over 20 years in safety, and 17 before Eastern Metal Supply. And the company that I work for, a large national company, we did the compliance aspect of safety, but it doesn't mean that we're really creating a safe culture. And that only started to happen at my former employer after we had a fatality in the workplace at one of our sites. So that's when that company had turned the corner and really wanted to drive a more safety culture where it was more about outside of compliance and more about that team involvement. What I plan to do is in this short time is talk about the 5 core elements of a successful safety culture. Those are 5 core elements as OSHA defines them, not as I define them. So, and I'm going to let you know how Eastern Metal Supply touches on all those 5 core elements. I'm also going to talk about who must report OSHA, because a lot of people in smaller businesses, they don't have the resources, or they don't have a dedicated safety professional that manages the program. So they may not be entirely sure what they need to do or what's required. With them, what's in it for me? Like, how does the company profit or from safety, or how do they benefit from working on to improve their safety culture? And I'm going to share some resources for you that you may be able to take advantage of to help you move down your journey to a world-class safety culture. So to start off, the core elements of a successful safety program starts off with leadership commitment, followed by employee participation, worksite analysis, hazard prevention and control, and finally, safety and health training. So in Eastern Metal Supply, starting off with leadership commitment, you heard the video that Scott just played, and one of the things that Mike, our CEO, mentioned is that our vision is to be the most trusted resource for high quality aluminum products. And he did mention that we accomplished this through a commitment to safety first. So the leadership commitment from the very top has to be unwavering, and it has to be leading by example. So for those of you on the call that you are in that leadership position, it needs to be visible, not just by words, but actually by the actions that we portray day in, day out. And this, we're talking about all leaders, from the frontline level leader that might be a lead on a line, to the supervisor, to the manager, to the executives of the corporation. And like I said, we need to walk the walk. I've been in some businesses in the past where the safety rules didn't apply to the president, right? They're in a work area that requires safety glasses, but they don't have safety glasses on. So we need to walk the walk, lead by example. And I always, challenged, the managers what example are you setting, for your team? Because as people that as leaders, people in leadership positions, we are like observed closely by our downline, our employees. So when they see us doing something that they may have gotten reprimanded for in the past or something, and we're deviating from those rules, it does not build a good culture. So it's very important that we walk the walk day in, day out. Make safety performance part of your daily meetings. What are your challenges? What are your successes? At Eastern Metal Supply, we review them daily, weekly, monthly, and all the way up to the board of directors. That our safety performance is a very important topic. The executives recognize that this is part of our vision and what's going to make us profitable and make us successful is our safety performance. So we review that day in and day out. Leadership invests in safety, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a lot of money or anything like that, but investing the time and the energy in safety committee meetings, startup meetings, 30, 60, 90-day follow-up meetings with new team members. We've recognized that in all industry, most industries, over 50% of our OSHA recordable injuries are employees that have been working less than a year. So we implemented a 30, 60, 90-day follow-up with new team members. It's a checklist of items that we covered on our orientation to make sure that they're following those rules. And it sets that, over the first 90 days, that attitude that they know that it's just not a one and done type of thing. We're going to talk about this, every day, every week, every month, and for their entire career there. Most importantly, if safety is not visibly important to you, then it's not going to be important to the team. There's an expression that I think it was a president that's, people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. So we need to show our team how much we care. And for those of you on the call that have those people that are reporting to you, it's important that they know that you care about them. We have an attitude at Eastern. There's no customer, there's no order that's more important that you can't take the time to perform your job safely. And it comes right from our CEO all the way down. The second component or core element is the employee participation. We do this through safety committee meetings, and they're value-added safety committee meetings. So a lot of times we don't want to have meetings just to have meetings, like some of us may have been in part of before, but they got to be value-added. We share some ideas and some between locations as to what their topics are about. We mix it up. We have pizza parties and things like that to try to get the excitement on it. And the safety committee meetings are the team meetings, are the frontline meetings. So we want them leading those meetings and implementing practices and procedures and ideas that they come up with. And so it feels like the whole environment is part of their own creation. Pre-shift startup meetings every day. Some of our locations have one shift, some have 3 shifts, but every day, every location is required to have that startup meeting to discuss safety topics. Any challenges, any successes for the day, how many days since the last injury. We mix those up. If we have a problem area in the facility, we'll move the safety meeting to that area to discuss it, so everybody learns from it right at the point of attack. The great catch. We implemented a new program that we use scan guns that are Android based that have the capability of using an app. And team members from their scan guns can submit a great catch. If they see something unsafe, they can correct the unsafe condition, or they can recognize somebody for a good behavior, that somebody that was cleaning up a water spill or something like that in the warehouse. They can recognize that person, submit it, take credit for it, and we'll give out team awards for some really, really good, great catches. And we implemented this in August, and in the month of August and in September, we gave out, we're offering $300 in gift cards each month. And it just so happened that we had got so many great catches over that period that we had to actually pony up some more money and provide some more gift cards. And so it's been very successful. We've got over 300 great catches, and and hazard mitigation over that since implementing this in August. And that's part of that employee participation. And it also touches on the hazard prevention and control component of those core elements. So that's been a great tool, and I'll share some information on how you can do something like that as well. Worksite analysis. We have a detailed over 200-point inspection of each warehouse. It's done monthly by the managers. The same inspection is an inspection that I conduct at each site a couple times a year. We call it the OEA, Operational Excellence Audit, and it covers every component of our safety from lockout, tagout, hazard communication, power industrial trucks, slip, trips, and falls, emergency evacuation, everything, every component of safety is covered in that Operational Excellence Audit. We also have a leader standard work checklist that is, for lack of a better, it's a routine. It's routines, daily, weekly, and monthly routines that managers and supervisors should be responsible for, from safety items as well as are your reviews done on time, right? Or a closing checklist on if you're closing down the facility. So these are all things that each manager and supervisor will do and sign off on daily, weekly, and monthly to make sure that we're touching all those pulse points in our operation to make sure that we stay on track. And they come right through a portal, a website that we can track these and verify that all these things are done. Behavior-based safety observations. All team members are observed a minimum of twice per year. These are just one-on-one interactions. They take 5 minutes or so, and it's just about safety. It's a little checklist. Is a PPE in good condition? Is their work area organized and clean? And it's just that one-on-one conversation. You're talking to that person 2 times a year at minimum, only about safety. It's a short period of time that we don't want anything productivity conversations taking place, because we want to isolate that encounter to just safety and not deviate from that topic. And then we got hazard prevention and control. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the great catch. It empowers the front line to take ownership of their workplace and make those corrections and improvement and take credit for it. I mean, it's been, I can't say enough how powerful that has been. And we've got it not only on the scan guns, but we got a QR code. We've got it in our fleet trucks where the drivers, if they're stopped at a stop, they can use that QR code and use their phone and send in a great catch, or they can send in report a hazard, right? That they identified, or an issue with their truck, or communicate any thing at all, and it gets filtered down. The great catches go directly to the manager and the vice president. Also, with hazard prevention and control, considering the hierarchy of controls, this is outlined in any OSHA training that you would do. I would recommend people that are in manufacturing to consider an OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 course, and you'll learn about the hierarchy controls for hazard prevention. And the first thing that we look to do is to eliminate the hazard. I was talking to Scott earlier. For 33 years, Eastern Metal Supply with tarp trucks, we would get on the truck and tarp it, climbing across a load where it creates a situation for potential a fall hazard as well as product damage. So, 7 years ago or so, we created a process, a tarping boom, a device that will tarp the trucks without getting on the load. So we've implemented that. So that's a example of an engineering control to eliminate the hazard. So the first thing that we do is eliminate the hazard, and if you can't do that, see how we can engineer the hazard out of our facilities. And then finally, safety and health training. We have EMS University. It's a separate LMS platform, as well as we have a separate provider for content that we assign a very robust safety training curriculum that all EMS employees get based on their job code. If they're in manufacturing, they'll get different training curriculum than a material handler in a warehouse would get. And it would be different from somebody administrative in the offices. So it's a very detailed training curriculum, and it's available in all languages. OSHA requires us OSHA requires all of you that are responsible for this to provide that training in the native language of those team members. Toolbox talks, those are part of that startup meeting. We have a portal where the managers and supervisors can go on to a link and click on any day of the month, whatever, on today, on November 7th, they could click it and a Toolbox talk will pop up in a PDF format. They can print it out and take it out to their Toolbox talk startup meeting, and as well as reinforcing the monthly training for that given month. So it's been that's been very successful. Oh, that's also good. It's also a resource to get team involvement, that second core element, and getting them involved in reading those Toolbox talks and discussing those items. I mentioned here hazard communication, emergency action plan, PPE, and lockout tagout. Those are some mandatory trainings that OSHA requires businesses to provide to their employees. And who must report? So, in the sign building industry, I assume everybody on the call is pretty much, that's the premise of their business, is building signs. And they're in an industry that they're required to keep a record of any OSHA recordable injuries. For those of you that are not familiar with what OSHA recordable injuries are versus non-OSHA recordable, at the end of the day, if there's a job restriction or days away from a job, or a prescription medicine is prescribed, it's OSHA recordable. If it doesn't necessarily mean if you go to the doctor, if you go to the doctor and he does not give restrictions or prescriptions, it's not recordable. So it doesn't necessarily mean medical attention. It's just what happens with that medical attention. So it's important to understand that, and taking the OSHA 10 or the OSHA 30, which is relatively inexpensive, can educate you on all those specifics on OSHA recordability. But here's some outlines, some of the conditions of who needs to report on an annual basis. And most businesses that we're talking to now with 10 or more employees are required to keep a log of those injuries and submit 300A at the beginning of the following year. So we talked about WIFM. So it's been proven by people much smarter than myself and a lot of research that, what's in it for you is team retention. If you create a culture of safety, you're going to have a team that stays on board. They're happy working there. They got better morale. You're going to improve productivity and quality. And you may have seen it in manufacturing, where if you have temp employees or if you have a high turnover, it's challenging to keep that productivity and the quality up, because you're constantly trying to retrain people, or you got new people performing a new job. So it improves the productivity, the quality, the morale. Obviously, you're going to improve your experience modification rate, which is going to lower your work comp rates and decrease absenteeism. And what better reason to create a safety culture than to leave a legacy? That's one of our values that Mike had was on one of the screens. The slides that Scott had showed was one of our values is to leave a legacy. I mean, what more important job can we do than to let people know that we care about them and that it was value added to work for you. Here's some of the resources that I talked about. That's one, obviously OSHA. Nobody likes to hear the word OSHA, but it's better to call them than then call you for help. So OSHA is a good resource. There's a lot of good training, free training on the OSHA site. That second link, there's free consultation. For businesses, I know in Florida, it's any businesses under 500 employees, there's a free consultation. And it's done through local universities in each state. Every state has a consultation program. So you can use that link and they'll come out to survey or do an inspection of the facility. Here's the other part of that is whatever the findings are, they're going to follow up on, and they want to make sure that any findings, any hazards that they found, that they've been mitigated, and if they haven't been, then they are required to report it to OSHA. So it's a free. I've used them before, and they'll hold your hand through the whole process, and there's no reason why we would not want to create mitigate a hazard in our environment. So I would encourage that greatly. The other one is our safety management platform. It's called EHS Insight, which is it's been, like I said, we started it a little bit, probably around June, July. We kicked off we've expanded it quite a bit in the short few months that we've had it, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. There's another tool that we were using. We used to use a Speak Up for Safety QR code that we had around the facility and on all our forklifts and the fleet trucks, that they can submit Speak Up for Safety messages, and that's only $20 a month. It's Survey Planet, and you can do surveys for your employees also. It gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of autonomy. Then the other safety training platform that I've used in the past is HSI. It used to be called Safety Skills before it was bought by HSI. Very, very user-friendly, very inexpensive. It was an LMS as well as training content combined. So you didn't have to have two different vendors for each. So that was a very good tool when we had it. I know Scott's had done some training on it as well. Everybody loved using that tool as well. This is just a screenshot from the resources on the consultation program. Every state is represented, and you can just click. When you go onto that link, you'll see a map like that. You'll click on your state, and it'll show you the resources you need to contact. And that's what I got. I hope anybody got any questions there?
No one has used the Q&A or chat, but now is your time, everyone. If there are any questions, we've got a little bit of time, so feel free to ask. No? Okay. You spoke so well. You answered all their questions.
We will have the slides available. If anybody wants to use any of the links or any of the information, we'll get those over to Rachel, and she can distribute accordingly. If that information is helpful for you, we can get that to you. And then obviously, if you have any questions or something that you want to talk about offline, we're more than available to help. Reach out to us or your local EMS rep, whatever you're comfortable with, and we can answer any questions that you might have as well.